Everybody move!
That is our business model.
The very nature of life.
The movie begins with Lucy, an American student living in Taiwan. One day, her new boyfriend Richard asks her to deliver a locked briefcase to a man named Mr. Zhang at a hotel. Lucy refuses at first, but Richard pressures her with money, so she agrees. At the hotel, the receptionist tells her to wait, but things take a dark turn when Richard is suddenly killed outside. A group of armed men grab Lucy and take her upstairs to meet Mr. Zhang. Cold and intimidating, Mr. Zhang writes down a code and steps back, making Lucy open the briefcase herself, not trusting Richard. Nervous and scared, Lucy opens it and sees what's inside: 4 small bags filled with a glowing blue powder. Mr. Zhang takes a small sample of the blue powder and forces a drug addict to try it. After a brief moment, the addict starts laughing uncontrollably. Clearly overwhelmed by the drug's effects, so Mr. Zhang coldly shoots him, showing no mercy. He then offers Lucy a job, making it clear she has no choice. Meanwhile, in Paris, we're introduced to Professor Samuel Norman, a well-known scientist and expert in human brain potential. During a lecture, he explains that although humans typically use only a small percentage of their brains, we've still made incredible progress in science, technology, and understanding life. He questions what would be possible if we could unlock more. Lucy wakes up and notices a fresh scar on her waist. One of Mr. Zhang's men explains that they've surgically placed a bag of the blue drug, called CPH4, inside her abdomen for smuggling to Europe. She soon realizes she's not alone. Several other people have been used the same way, each sent to different parts of the world. Lucy is then knocked unconscious, and when she wakes up,
And you might rediscover the freedom which you... That is our business model.
she's tied up in a room with 2 men. They begin to beat her, and during the assault, the bag inside her ruptures, releasing the drug into her system. As her body reacts violently, something inside her starts to change. Meanwhile, Professor Norman continues his lecture, explaining that if humans could use 20% of their brain, they'd gain full control over their bodies. At 40%, they might even be able to control others. When someone in the audience asks what happens at 100%, Professor Norman admits, no one truly knows. Lucy wakes up completely changed. The drug has unlocked something in her. With powerful new abilities, she quickly defeats the men holding her and escapes the room with a gun. She moves through the building with calm precision, killing everyone who gets in her way. Afterward, she eats a large amount of food, needing the energy, and gathers a bag full of weapons.
No.
As she heads to a hospital, her senses become superhuman. She can hear conversations from far away and see details with incredible clarity. At the hospital, she walks straight into the operating room and calmly tells the doctors that the drug inside her is leaking and needs to be removed immediately. During the surgery, while fully conscious, Lucy calls her mother. In a calm, emotional voice, she explains that she can now feel everything: the air, the rotation of the earth, the presence of people around her. She says she remembers the smallest moments, even the kisses her parents shared when she was a baby. Overwhelmed by the connection to life itself, she tells her mother, "I love you," and ends the call. After the surgery, the doctor successfully removes the remaining drug. He explains that CPH4 is actually a natural substance, produced in tiny amounts by pregnant women around the 6th week of pregnancy.
If it really is CPH4.
Not for long.
It's used to give unborn babies the energy to grow, meaning Lucy has absorbed a massive and unnatural dose of something already powerful at its core. After the surgery, Lucy's powers grow even stronger. She can now see things on a microscopic level, like trees absorbing nutrients from the ground. She then goes to Mr. Zhang's hotel, calmly walks in, and demands to know where the other drug mules have been sent. Using her abilities, she scans Mr. Zhang's brain and instantly sees visions of the cities the others were sent to. With that information, Lucy returns home and begins searching the internet, trying to understand what's happening to her. As she digs deeper, she comes across Professor Samuel Norman, whose research on the brain closely matches her own experience. She realizes he may be the only person who can help her before it's too late. Lucy contacts Professor Samuel Norman and tells him that his theory isn't just a theory, It's real. She explains that after absorbing a large quantity of synthetic CPH4, her brain has started unlocking at an incredible rate. She's currently using 28% of her cerebral capacity, and it's increasing rapidly. With her growing power, she can now control electronic devices like TVs, cell phones, and laptops just by thinking. She speaks calmly, almost detached, but it's clear she's becoming something far beyond human, and she needs Norman's help to understand what's coming next.
You'll be okay.
The very nature of life.
The next day, Lucy changes her appearance to avoid attention since her story is now all over the news. She contacts Del Rio, a French police officer, and gives him detailed information about the remaining drug mules, information she had scanned directly from Mr. Zhang's brain. She even sends him photos of the 3 men. Acting on her intel, the police arrest all 3 couriers at different airports, each carrying the drugs inside their bodies. Meanwhile, on her flight to Paris, Lucy begins to lose control. Her skin starts burning and breaking apart as her brain power increases. To survive, she takes more CPH4 mid-flight. She later wakes up in a hospital and immediately demands that Del Rio hand over the remaining CPH4 bags. Together, Lucy and Del Rio head to retrieve the drugs. But Mr. Zhang's men have already reached the hospital and forcibly taken the drugs from the couriers. Lucy arrives at the hospital just as Mr. Zhang's men are trying to escape with the drugs. Without lifting a finger, she uses her growing brain power to fight them off, disarming and disabling them effortlessly. She takes the briefcase containing all the remaining CPH4 and calmly leaves the building. Mr. Zhang sees her and begins to follow, determined to stop her.
Shall we go?
Meanwhile, in Paris, Professor Samuel Norman waits for Lucy in his lab, surrounded by a team of scientists. As they prepare for her arrival, Norman explains to the group that Lucy is evolving beyond human limits, and what she's experiencing is the result of using more and more of her brain capacity. At the same time, Mr. Zhang organizes an attack. He and 25 armed men plan to storm the lab and kill Lucy before she can finish whatever she's about to become.
Nobody move!
In Professor Norman's lab, Lucy calm and almost inhuman in her presence, Lucy speaks to the room full of scientists, explaining that time is the only true measure of existence. Not power, not knowledge, but time itself. She explains how human perception is limited by emotion, fear, and self-importance, distorting reality. As she speaks, her tone is detached but insightful, like a being already slipping beyond human understanding. At her request, she is intravenously injected with the remaining 3 bags of CPH4 to push her brain capacity further. As the drug floods her system, Lucy's transformation accelerates. Her body begins to shift and dissolve into a black, tar-like substance that spreads across the lab, merging with the computers and machinery. She begins creating something beyond comprehension, a living supercomputer. Simultaneously, her consciousness travels through space and time. She flashes through galaxies, history, and evolution, witnessing ancient Earth, dinosaurs, early humans, and finally standing before the first known human ancestor, also named Lucy. In a quiet, symbolic moment, the 2 touch fingertips before Lucy continues her journey all the way to the beginning of the universe, the Big Bang. Meanwhile, chaos returns to the lab as Mr. Zhang bursts in with a gun, determined to kill her. Lucy's body briefly reforms in a chair, but just as Zhang fires a bullet at her head, she reaches 100% brain capacity and vanishes. She no longer exists in physical form, having merged with the space-time continuum itself. Yang is then shot and killed by Captain Del Rio. In the silence that follows, Professor Norman takes a sleek black flash drive, left behind by the supercomputer, as the only remaining piece of Lucy's knowledge. The supercomputer dissolves, leaving behind nothing but Lucy's clothes. Del Rio looks around and asks, "Where is she?" Just then, his phone vibrates with a message. "I am everywhere." Lucy's voice echoes one last time. "Life was given to us 1 billion years ago. Now you know what to do with it.